I've went from nothing to a knife 3 separate times, and in the next week, I'm going to be going from nothing to gloves, so I know a lot about getting free CS2 skins. Now, your journey is going to start off with the guaranteed, and that's going to be the drops you get every single week. Every week that you get 5,000 XP, you're going to be able to go ahead and claim 2 separate items. Usually, it's going to be 1 case and 1 skin. Now, the case on average is going to be worth about 60-ish cents, which is really nice. The skin on average, probably not so much. I've got a spreadsheet linked in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. You're probably only going to be getting about 10-ish cents from that skin every single week, so it's not amazing. Skin Swap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins, with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options, and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now, obviously, drops aren't going to be making you a knife or any massive amount of money overnight unless you get hit with one of those rare drops, which do make up 1% of the drop pool, but most likely you're going to be able to earn yourself a couple dollars, which are crucially important to move on to later developments inside of this area. You're not going to be making your money overnight, but this is a perfect start. Now, once you get those couple of dollars, I highly suggest you head over to option number 2, which is going to be Tradeups. Now, Tradeups can be a very risky alternative if you want to gamble your money away, but there's also a hidden profitability inside of Tradeups. That's because some specific combinations can make you massive amounts of money, and that's specifically what you're going to want to focus in on. A lot of these Tradeups are going to be making you a lot of money because the floats are not super easy to get, but you can go ahead and just continually work on some of these. You're going to be making a significant amount of profit. Now, this is specifically how I have gone from nothing to a knife and nothing to gloves in just about a week, but I'm going to focus in on a couple specific Tradeups that I think are much better for you to focus in on, especially at a lower balance. First up, we have this Revolution Collection Tradeup right here. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, I'm never going to be able to get these floats, but we're going to put in a buy order at 6 cents, so we can go ahead and resell the items at 8 cents if we don't get the correct float. Therefore, we're not losing any money on the reselling process, and you're going to get these eventually. It may seem like there's tons of competition out there, but everyone forgets about their buy orders until they start coming in, and that's exactly what's going to happen for you. Otherwise, this is a perfect option right here. We're going to be heading on over to the Dreams and Nightmares. We're going to be looking for minimal wear skins. You can go stat track or not, but you're looking for 0.092 or below on the float, and this one's going to be a massive profit if you can hit the Ticket or the N4A1S Night Terror. These are 2 great trade-ups to go ahead and get your roll in, and I've got many more videos out there, including one coming later this week on how you can go ahead and do no risk trade-ups and make a significant amount of money there. Do you remember how for the Revolution case skins we were talking about, we were placing a buy order for 6 cents and selling them for 8 cents? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be doing here on a larger sale, except for profit. This is exactly what you want to do. You want to find skins that have a discrepancy that looks like this. Obviously, you can see that the buy order and the selling listed price is significantly different. So much different, in fact, you can go ahead and make a profit theoretically if you place a buy order just 1 cent above the last and you're selling it 1 cent below the listed price. Now, this is definitely a little bit more of an in theory thing if you get to a little bit more of these illiquid skins, but there's so many options for these if you want to go ahead and find skins that are currently having tons of active listings out there. The biggest thing as well is you can place up to 10 times your balance in buy orders, so I highly suggest you go ahead and just throw a couple buy orders out there that aren't even the cheapest priced. You will get skins eventually if you wait long enough, and usually the skin probably has accrued a little bit of value by then if you're choosing the right skins, which is absolutely perfect. Now, the best way to go ahead and maximize your profit is to place below average buy orders on skins that you actually want for trade-ups. Therefore, when you're selling off the skins that don't fit the float value, you're still making profit, and the ones that do fit the float value, you can go ahead and keep and make even more profit by actually doing the trade-up. Now, number 4 on my list is going to be the hidden way, and that's going to be when an operation releases. Now, when an operation releases, there's tons of ways to make profit by investing and doing everything else, but we're going to be focusing in specifically on buying up battle passes. This is one of the ways I earned my free knife. You can check out the full example of it here, but basically you're going to be buying off these battle passes, completing the challenges, and then instantly selling off the cases. Now, if you want to look at the case price now, it was probably a better idea to go ahead and keep these cases long term, but that's not really the focus of this method, because the focus of this method is going ahead and grinding out these battle passes on multiple accounts so you can get tons of these cases and then instantly sell them to buy more accounts and put the battle pass on that and continually grind out more cases there. It's a very grindy method, but it's a 100% guaranteed way for you to make a decent amount of profit, and that's not too common in this area. Now, number 5 on the list is going to be investing. Obviously, this is an investing channel, and investing has made me a significant amount of money. I would highly suggest if you have not a large balance, you're going to be looking at a little bit more risky and definitely more cheap options for investing. This might include major capsules, might include active duty cases, this might include major operation items, whatever you want to go into. Usually, you're going to be looking at something that's a little bit cheaper and more risky because you don't have the largest budget. You got to take some risks here to go ahead and make up some of that profit you would theoretically likely be missing by having a low budget. Now with that being said, nothing is guaranteed in this area, but if you make smart investment decisions and know what you're doing inside of this area, very likely you're going to be walking away with a decent amount of money provided you make the best decisions for you. Now when new content releases, this is going to be the #1 opportunity for you to make a ton of money super quickly. We're going to break it down into a couple different categories. First up, when a new case releases, there's a couple things you want to do. You want to figure out which case got moved into the rare drop pool and go ahead and pick up some of those immediately for a quick flip. If you want to invest into them, that's one thing, but we're going to be buying these to sell them in a couple hours when everyone starts getting the news. Second thing, you're going to want to head over to the Master Shiny Discord, claim your $20 if you're the first person to go ahead and tag me in this group chat. And the third thing is you're going to want to look at what case got added and go ahead and try and get that through your weekly drop. Now when a new operation releases, it's going to be a very similar story. Most likely there's not going to be any case that gets moved into the rare drop pool, but you're going to look at this operation and see where the profit opportunities are inside of it. Obviously we know about grinding out the pass, but you're also going to want to look at everything the operation brought with it. Did it bring any weapon changes, which we'll talk about in a quick second, or is it just really an overall cosmetic update, which is definitely possible, and there may not be as many instant profit opportunities inside of this area. And the third big one is going to be a weapon change. Now this is something we really saw during Operation Riptide with the M4A1S. Basically, anytime a weapon becomes significantly better, it's very likely that it's going to be on an increasing trajectory. This is a little bit more risky than the rest of them because it's not guaranteed, but you're going to be looking for opportunities like this. Anytime a major update comes around and there's a change, you're going to be looking to see if that's going to make you profit in the longer period. Next up is going to be the questionable method, and this includes a couple different things. First up, if you're trying to idle for Steam cards, this is definitely inside of this area just because I think it's bringing a lot more risk than reward. Obviously, I don't know anyone that's been actually vac banned because of this, but you're probably not going to be gaining a ton of money by idling for cards. You're going to be wasting a lot of electricity, putting a lot of stress on your computer, and honestly, the way Steam has just been banning people, I don't want to put myself in harm's way for just a couple extra bucks. Definitely there, it's definitely a possibility, but it's not for me. Also inside of the questionable method is going to be putting buy orders on brand new items when they come out. Now the reason it's inside of this method and not the previous is because it's extremely hard to do. Now I personally did this for an Antwerp item and I made about 6,000% because I put in a buy order of 3 cents and I sold it for about $2. With that being said, you're competing with a ton of bots out there and this legitimately has to be your first priority when an update comes out for you to stand any chance of getting it, but it's definitely a possibility if you really want to strive for it. And the last method, number 8, is going to be grinding out. Now I've got a couple different ways. First up, if you want to use a click to earn site, I used Free Cash in the past. I made a whole video about using Free Cash. It is a reputable site and it does work, but it's not going to be the most fun by any means. Otherwise, you can go ahead and enter giveaways. There's tons of giveaways out there, including on today's sponsor, and I think it's definitely worth your time if you just want to take a couple seconds to go through and click on every giveaway because the odds are you might win something. And the third way is going to be whatever you want to do, whether that's trading, whether that's creating a Fiverr business, whether that's going outside and working a job. This is probably going to be the most optimal way for you to go ahead and actually get your knife, but it's not necessarily so free because you're putting in the work. But that's all I got. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and I hope you have a great rest of your day.